සම්පූරිතා පමිත පාරමිතා බලේන විද්වංසියෝ කිල කිලේස සමෝහජාලං තේනේව ලන්ද අරහං අරහෝති නාමං වන්දාමි බුද්ධ මමලං හදයේටපෙන්ත්වා සමන්තා චක්කවාලේසු අත්‍රා ගච්ඡන්තු දේවතා සද්ධම්මං මුනි රාජස්ස සුනන්තු සග්ග මොක්ඛදං ධම්ම ශ්‍රවණ කාලෝ අයං බදන්තා ධම්ම ශ්‍රවණ කාලෝ අයං බදන්තා ධම්ම ශ්‍රවණ කාලෝ අයං බදන්තා නමෝ තස්ස භගවතෝ අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස නමෝ තස්ස භගවතෝ අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස නමෝ තස්ස භගවතෝ අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස පඨවිරිවන ජාතු කම්පතේ නචලති මේරුරිවාති වායුනා වජිරමිවන භිජ්ජතේ ඝනං තමිද මතෝ කඨිනන්ති බුච්ඡති තී. Venerable members of the Mahasangha, friends in Dhamma, at this moment you are performing a very great meritorious act, offering a cotton robe to the Mahasangha. According to Buddha's teachings, this is one of the main meritorious acts that we can perform in our life. Katina means very strong, unbroken, unshakable. That is the meaning of Katina. The result of offering cotton robe to the Mahasangha is unshakable, unbroken, undivided. That is the meaning of Katina. When we are going to offer a cotton robe to the place where monks observe the precepts of Katina or any season, there should be some fulfilling there, especially at this place. There should be higher ordained monks there. Not only that, they should have completed 3 months rain retreat successfully. On the full moon day of July, monks observe the rain retreat. After that, they should follow the very special rules according to Buddhist monastic code. After 3 months, they successfully complete the rain retreat. After that, within a month, the Buddhist devotees can do this kind of meritorious act. We should understand why this is a great merit. If you are rich, if you are wealthy, you can offer hundreds of robes anytime, anywhere. But Katina robe is not like that. Even though you are very rich, you are unable to offer many cotton robes at one place once a year. You can offer only one cotton robe to one place in a year. That's also offered to the community of the Mahasangha, not only particular person. When you offer cotton robe, you say that imang katina kevarang sangasa dema. I offer this cotton robe to the community of the Mahasangha. When you offer cotton robe to the Mahasangha, then one of the monks is selected and he receives the cotton robe with the permission of other monks. And also, this is one of the traditions that we can see in Buddhist tradition, that especially in this period in India, there is a very rainy period. And also they stay in a particular place. After that, for the benefits of Mahasangha, kind devotees, they offer a cotton robe to the Mahasangha. That is why we especially do these kind of activities. As Buddhist followers, especially who was born in Sri Lanka, one of their meritorious dreams is that offering cotton robe to a Mahasangha. Why is that? If you are born in Sri Lanka, I think you can remember, what is the first meritorious act that you did in your very young age? When you were sleeping at night, when you heard the sound of drums at night, our mom waked up and she with us offered the cotton robe. That is the very first meritorious act that we did as young children in our young age. Therefore, everywhere, anywhere, if there is a cotton robe offering, we participate to the cotton robe ceremony and we gain this meritorious act. Whenever we offer a cotton robe, it means we understand the qualities of the Mahasangha. Robe is not just a robe or cloth. Robe is the flag of Arhantas. Robe symbolizes the monks, the Buddha's noble disciples. Whenever you take care of robes, it means you take care of monks. Whenever you take care of monks, it means you respect the Dhamma and Buddha. Why is that? When we strengthen monks, it means we strengthen the Dhamma. Throughout associating monks, we receive this valuable message, what the Buddha explained. The highest benefit, the occasion that we receive offering something to Mahasangha is the occasion to listening to what the Buddha taught. We should understand it. Whenever, whatever you offer to the Mahasangha, you receive a very special benefit. What is that? The occasion listening to what the Buddha taught. That is the highest benefit. According to the discourse of Velama, Buddha says, if someone practices generosity correctly and honestly, he receives a very special benefit. What is that? Listening to Dhamma, what the Buddha explained. The Buddha's message, what he explained for 45 years, can be summarized into one stanza, one sentence. What is that? Sacitta Pariyodapanam. Purifying one's mind. Whatever we do with intention, we do everything for our inner peace, happiness. Happiness is the main purpose of everyone who was born in this world. If we are not happy, everything that we earned is useless. Even though we are well educated, even though our appearance is very beautiful, if our mind is polluted, then everything that we earned is useless. In this situation, when we listen to Buddha's message, we understand how we develop our inner peace, happiness, and also how we overcome suffering. This is the very special thing that we understand throughout listening to what the Blessed One explained. In this situation, we should understand the Buddha's message. Buddha's message is like the ocean that deepens gradually. Anyone can understand and practice the Dhamma according to his or her intelligence, dedication, and wisdom. If you are wise, if you are a gifted person, you can get the highest benefit of listening to Dhamma. Buddha says, how we purify our mind little by little. We usually think that if we are well educated, if we are very rich, we are successful. Actually, that is not true. Even though we are well educated and rich, if we are unhappy, everything that we earned is useless. In this situation, we should understand how we purify our mind gradually. The very first meritorious act that we can practice to purify our mind is that practice in generosity. He who has a generous heart gains a lot of happiness. When we are generous, actually at the moment our mind is so pure and calm. That is the very first meritorious act that we can perform for our inner peace. On the other side, Buddha says, Piti mudarang vindati data. He who practices generosity gains a lot of happiness. Not only that, dadang mittani gantati. He who has a generous heart has a lot of friends. The way how to win our friends is that practicing generosity. If you are greedy, actually our close relatives and friends don't like us. In this situation, practicing generosity is one of the ways that we can win our friends. Then we gradually go forward. The next meritorious act that we can perform to purify our mind is that practicing virtue or moral conduct, discipline in our speech and behavior. When we speak something, when we behave, we should think again and again whether it is correct. If we do like that, then we have no regrets. Especially as the Buddha's followers, we should practice 5 precepts for our inner peace. If someone can practice at least 2 precepts or 5 precepts, such as if we know that a person definitely abstain from stealing and false speech, then we are confident in that person. If we know that a person abstain from stealing and false speech, we respect that person. How a person practices 5 precepts, then we have more confidence. If we practice 5 precepts at home, we are respected. In the society, we are respected. Among our relatives and friends, we are respected and honorable because of practicing sila or virtue or moral conduct. Discipline in our speech and behavior. And also Buddha says, the way how we can win our friends is that practicing sila or virtue. Finally, Buddha says, according to Karaniya Metta Sutta, there is a very special quality that we should perform, that nacha kuddhan samachare kinchi yena vinyo parayupadiyam. We should not do any slight wrong conduct which is considered by the wise. If we have this discipline, how nice. This is the way how we gradually go forward on our spiritual path. If someone can purify his mind, it means that person always happy because of purification of his mind. Buddha says, mind is the forerunner, mind is chief, mind made day. If someone speaks or acts with a wicked mind, suffering follows him because of his impure mind. Suffering follows him like the wheel of draught oxen. On the other side, if mind is pure and calm, if we do something with a pure mind, physically, verbally, or mentally, then happiness follows us because of our pure mind. Even as the shadow that never leaves someone. If we have this understanding and when we keep our mind pure and calm, then we can see some results in our life. I think you have heard the Mangala Sutta, the discourse of blessing. When we keep our mind pure and calm, a lot of supreme blessings will feel fulfilled in our life. What they are? Dhanancha Dhammacharyacha. Practicing generosity is a supreme blessing. Dhammacharyacha, living according to Dhamma, is a supreme blessing. Dhamma Savanam. Listening to Dhamma in the proper time is a supreme blessing. Kalena Dhamma Sakaccha. Discussing Dhamma in the proper time is a supreme blessing. Mata Pita Upattana. Helping our parents or taking care of our mother and father is a supreme blessing. Kathanyuta. Gratitude is a supreme blessing. Arati Virati Papa. Abstaining from evils is a supreme blessing. Finally, Buddha says, Arya Satchana Dasanang. Understanding the Four Noble Truth is a supreme blessing. Finally, Buddha says, Puttasaloka Dhammehi Chittang Yasana Kampati Asokang Virajang Khemang Etham Mangalamuttamam. Making an unshakable mind among the worldly conditions, that is the supreme blessing. When we go on the path of liberation, we see the results. These are the results. You can make sure whether you are on the path of liberation or happiness. What is that? Always you keep your mind pure and calm. Here we should understand the negative thoughts that disturb our peace of mind. If we want to achieve the real happiness in our life, we should understand the enemies who disturb our peace of mind. We usually think that enemies are outside. Actually, Buddha says, enemies are not outside. We can win hundreds of enemies in the battlefield. That is not the real success in our life. The exalted one says, real enemies are inside. Who are the enemies? Negative thoughts. All the negativities, unwholesome mental states can be summarized into three. They are greed, anger, and delusion. That is why we practice this path. By practicing generosity, little by little we overcome greed, one of the enemies who disturb our peace of mind. And also by practicing virtue or moral conduct, again we overcome these negative thoughts from our mind. On the other side, Buddha says, in the mundane level, the highest quality, highest spiritual act that we can perform is that practice in loving kindness meditation. Contemplating on thus, may all beings be well, happy and peaceful. If you want to develop your mind to the maximum level in the mundane level, with positive activities, practicing loving kindness is the highest quality. Buddha says, he who wishes to attain the peace of mind should practice loving kindness meditation, contemplating on thus, may all beings be well, happy and peaceful. As the result of this practice, when we meet a person, we have highest attitude. What is that? Mātāyatāniyam puttang ayusāyaka puttamanurakke. When we meet a person, we think that person like our only son or daughter. If we have this attitude, what happens to us? Our entire life changes. Not only mind, but even our physical body changes. According to this highest attitude, everything, our entire life changes. It means always we keep our mind pure and calm. Especially we are able to overcome anger by practicing loving kindness meditation. You know, anger is one of the main reasons that we suffer. If we can overcome anger, be sure we can overcome more than 50% stress from our mind. That is why in the modern psychology, they say practicing loving kindness is one of the techniques that we can practice to overcome stress. For stress management, they have recommended 2 techniques. One of them is practicing loving kindness meditation. The other one is practicing mindfulness. Little by little, we are going forward on this path. Again, Buddha says, we have to develop our mind to the maximum level, overcoming negative thoughts from our mind. In this situation, Buddha has explained there are some challenges in front of us. What are the challenges that we have? Buddha says we have 3 challenges in our life. What they are? Aging, death, and rebirth. The suffering of aging, the suffering of death, the suffering of rebirth. These are the real challenges that we have in our life. Buddha has pointed out the way how we overcome these challenges from our life. For that, Buddha explained the way. The Supreme Buddha says, suffering comes to the person who is ignorant, not for wise. Whenever we are ignorant, then suffering can follow us. What is the ignorance? What is the ignorance in Buddhism? If we don't know the reality of karmic law, that is one of the signs of ignorance. Everything that we do with intention, we will have the same results. If our mind is polluted, the results are evil. When mind is pure and calm, the results are fruitful. This is the understanding. With this understanding, we overcome negativities, sabba papa sakaranang, not to do any evil for our inner peace. When our mind is polluted with greed, craving, anger, and ignorance, we have no real happiness. Happiness is the main purpose of everyone. We do everything for our inner peace, happiness. In this situation, Buddha says suffering always comes to the person who is ignorant, not for wise. What is the ignorance? You may think that you are very wise and you are well educated. If you have a degree or master degree or doctorate, you may think that you are very wise and intelligent. Actually, Buddhism doesn't say that. Our wisdom, our skillfulness depends on how we are wise and mindful. Here we should understand ignorance, the nature of ignorance. Ignorance means when we look at something, when we hear something, when we smell something, when we taste something, when we touch something, suddenly we make some forms or materials. When we see something, we think there is something outside. When you look at me, You think that there is some monk outside. I experience the present situation, present moment. Actually, that is not true. Buddha says very clearly, we are unable to recognize something through our eye consciousness. We recognize everything through our mind consciousness. When we understand something through our mind consciousness, the very first experience has ceased. When you look at me and you understand this is a monk, then the very first experience, I has ceased, form has ceased, eye consciousness has ceased, and also eye contact has ceased. You understand me through your mind consciousness. This is the reality. If we are ignorant, our mind is suddenly fixed in outside material world. Whenever our mind is fixed outside world, it means outside material world changes. We are unhappy, we are suffering. If we want to overcome this suffering, what do we need to do? We need to overcome ignorance, delusion. What is the delusion? Always we think with some forms, which depends on 4 fundamental elements. Patavi, Apo, Tejo, Vayu. Whatever you think, always you think some material world. It means we are in the sansaric circle. Avidya Paccaya Sankhara. Avidya Paccaya Sankhara means through ignorance are conditioned mental formations. And through mental formations is conditioned consciousness. If we can overcome this ignorance, our mind is not fixed in outside world. As soon as we look at something, if we are clever to understand, I recognize this thing through my mind consciousness, then outside world is unable to control us. Whenever we are unhappy, whenever we are suffering, be sure that at the moment you are controlled by outside. Why is that? We are ignorant. It means at the moment our mind is fixed outside world, then we are together. Then outside world changes, we are suffering. Whenever we think that when we hear something, when we see something, when we smell something, then first experience has already ceased, then we depend on inside. That is the Vipassana Bhavana, inside meditation. We started this path by practicing dana or generosity. When you offer cotton robe to the Mahasangha, the community of Mahasangha, the highest benefit that you receive throughout offering dana to the Mahasangha is that the occasion to listening to what the Blessed One explained. Buddha explains the way how we overcome our negative thoughts little by little. The very first one is generosity, offering something to others with kind heart, and also practicing virtue, moral conduct, sila, discipline in our speech and behavior, and also practicing loving kindness meditation, metta bhavana. This is the way how we can purify our mind. But the highest quality that we can purify our mind is that practicing mindfulness. Mindfulness is the best friend in our life. What is the mindfulness? Mindfulness is that being aware of our body and mind. At this moment, what happens to my mind? Always we look at outside. And also we think that I experience something which is in outside. Actually, there is some outside world which consists with four fundamental elements. But when we recognize something, the first experience has ceased. We recognize everything through our mind consciousness. First of all, we should listen to this message. With the confidence in this message, we are going to practice this path. The highest quality of practicing Dhamma is that practicing mindfulness. When we look at outside, and also we think that the experience comes from outside, it means we are suffering. Our life is that when we eat something, we always look at the plate. When we have some taste in our mouth, we always look at outside. The food is in the plate, we think this food is the tasty. It is true. At the moment you are tasting something, the food is not in the plate but in your mouth. Have thought it? Actually, we never have thought it. We always think that the taste comes from the food which is in the plate. Actually, at the moment, the food is invisible, it is in our mouth. Our life also like that. We think that this is a beautiful flower, this is a beautiful person. Actually, there is four fundamental elements outside, but we experience that material world. We understand everything through our mind consciousness according to our present mental condition. This is the way how we practice mindfulness in our life. For that, we have to contemplate on it again and again with the Suttamaya Jnana, the knowledge of hearing. Then we have to practice the Chintamaya Panya, the knowledge of contemplating, and the Bhavanamaya Panya, the contemplating on inside meditation. Here, it is very important to understand the Buddhist meditation. Buddhist meditation can be divided into two. One of them is the concentration meditation or Samatha Bhavana. By practicing concentration meditation, we are able to overcome 5 hindrances, or lobha and dosa, or desire and anger. When we keep our mind in the particular wholesome object again and again, such as breathing meditation, loving kindness meditation, these are the meditation techniques that we can practice to keep our mind in the present moment. By practicing this path, we are able to develop our inner peace, overcoming greed and anger. When mind gains concentration, then we practice insight meditation. It means our eye is impermanent, forms are impermanent, eye contact is impermanent, eye consciousness is impermanent. It means as soon as you look at something, if you are wise and mindful that I understand this reality through my mind consciousness, and also very first experience has already ceased, this is the place where you can show your skillfulness. If your GPA is very high, you are not successful. Although your grade point average is very high, you are not successful. If you are ignorant, outside persons and things can disturb your peace of mind. Where is the place that you can see your success? Buddha says, let's live happily without anger among the people, those who are angry. This is the place where you can show your skillfulness. This is our success. Let's live happily among the people, those who are mentally ill, without mental illnesses. This is the place that you can show your skillfulness. Let's live happily without mental illnesses, such as greed, anger, like that. Among the people, those who are mentally ill. For that, we have to practice mindfulness again and again. When you do something mindfully, it means outside persons and things are unable to disturb your peace of mind. Whenever someone can disturb your peace of mind, be sure that at the moment you are not mindful. You don't take care of your mind at the moment. At that moment, outside persons control your mind. If outside persons can control your mind, it means you are not mindful. If you are mindful, you always take care of your mind. You think, what is the situation your mind is now? When mind is angry, we suddenly understand, now my mind is angry. When my mind is lustful, we understand at the moment my mind has lust. When my mind is ignorant, we suddenly understand that now my mind is ignorant. Whenever we see that there is outside person, such as when you eat something, if you think that the taste comes from the plate, like that, if you see something, if you understand there is something outside, it means we are ignorant. At that moment, outside person and things can disturb your peace of mind. For that, again and again, we have to practice mindfulness. Mindfulness is our best friend. Buddha says, whenever you live with mindfulness, it means you are living with the Buddha. Whenever you are away from mindfulness, it means you are away from the Buddha. It means you are near the Mara or devil. At the moment, he can disturb your peace of mind. Whenever we are mindful, at the moment we are free from suffering. This is the freedom, this is the liberation, this is the emancipation. Do you like to live in the prison now? Do you like to live free? Actually, we need to live with freedom, emancipation. For that, Buddha has explained the way. As the result of this path, we can live with an unshakable mind that no one can disturb our peace of mind. That is why Buddha says the highest supreme blessing is that, according to Mangala Sutta, Puttassa loka dhammehi chittang yassana kampati asokang virajang khemang etam mangalam uttamam. Making an unshakable mind among the worldly condition, labha, gain and loss, yasa, honor and dishonor, yasa, praise and blame, sapadok, happiness and misery. Among these 8 worldly conditions, if you can make an unshakable mind, that is the supreme blessing that we can make in our life. Buddha says, dwell with the Dhamma as an island, as a refuge, with no other refuge. Why is that? Buddha says, upaniyati loko addu. Everything is unstable and swept away. Attano loko anabissaro. There is no shelter, no real protection in this world. Even though you think that your children will help you, actually one day they are unable to help you. Not only your children, but even your physical body is unable to help you. At the moment, we should have real protection in our life. If you depend on outside, be sure your life ends with suffering. If you depend on inside, it means your life ends with happiness. Sabban pahai gamaniyan, we have to leave everything. One day, in a second, we have to leave behind everything. In this situation, even though we are confident in outside, actually they are not the real protection or shelter. Our real protection or shelter is that making an unshakable mind by practicing mindfulness. Whenever we are mindful at the moment, our mind has no greed, no anger, no ignorance. This is the freedom, this is the emancipation, this is the enlightenment. On this path, we should go forward little by little. Buddhism is like the ocean which deepens gradually. When you practice generosity correctly and honestly, the highest benefit that you receive throughout practicing generosity is that having a chance to listen to what the Buddha taught. Then you understand that this message will help me to overcome suffering. That is the confidence. That is the saddha. Saddhati tathagatassa bodhin. Saddha or confidence is that understanding the Buddha's message. Confidence is what the Buddha taught, what the Buddha explained. Whenever we are ignorant, whenever we depend on outside, then we are in the sansaric circle. Whenever we understand ignorance and overcome ignorance, then we are away from sansaric circle. We always should understand whether I am in the sansaric circle or I am away from the sansaric circle. For that, we have to increase the duration of going away from sansaric circle. For that, again and again, we have to practice mindfulness, the contemplation of our body, contemplation of feelings, contemplation of consciousness, contemplation of mental formations. Kayanupassana, we are aware of our body, especially breathing meditation. If we are clever to keep our attention around the nose or upper lip at the present moment, our real success, that getting rid of suffering completely depends on practicing mindfulness. Practicing mindfulness definitely depends on the duration of keeping our attention in the present moment with breathing in and out. By keeping our mind in the present moment with breathing in and out, if we can live with mindfulness, always we look at inside. Then outside world has already ceased. Buddha says the world is like the empty village. Empty village means empty. What is empty? There is no any material world in this world. There are some fundamental elements. 4 fundamental elements. We contact those fundamental elements, but we understand it, we recognize it, we understand everything through our mind consciousness. This is the thing that we should contemplate on it again and again. Our success completely depends on the duration of practicing mindfulness. When we walk, when we speak something, when we remember something, we always think about the impermanence. Impermanence means Not being occurred comes to occurrence. Being occurred will not go to occurrence. This is the golden explanation in Buddhism. Ahutva sambhutam hutva na bhavisyati. Our entire life is the present moment, present thought. That present thought didn't come to the present from the past. The present thought will not go to future from the present. The present thought arises and ceases at the moment. Not being occurred comes to occurrence. Being occurred will not go to occurrence. This is the silver line in Buddhism. If we can succeed the present moment, contemplating on impermanence, we are able to succeed our entire life. What is that? Why is that? Our past has ceased, our future hasn't come yet. I have only the present moment. If we can succeed the present moment by practicing mindfulness, it means we know very well my entire life is the present moment, and also if I can live with mindfulness and wisdom, contemplating on this reality, then we understand when our mind is angry, we understand how my mind has anger. When mind is lustful, we suddenly understand that my mind has lust. When mind is ignorant, we understand my mind has ignorance. This is the place where we can be confident in what the Supreme Buddha explained. Our success completely depends on the duration of reflecting on this reality. By reflecting on impermanence, if we are able to live in mindfulness and wisdom, this is the real success that we can gain in this life. By offering Kathina robe to the Mahasangha, if you really respect the monks, the way how to be grateful to our Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha, listening to this Dhamma and practicing this Dhamma. Even though we take care of monks, actually we really don't take care of monks. If we really respect the monks, we should listen to Dhamma and also we should follow the Dhamma. Buddha wanted us to practice this valuable path. If we are ignorant and suffering, actually our life is not successful. Therefore, we have to listen to Dhamma again and again. We should go forward with the Dhamma. And we always are confident in the triple gem, the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha. Especially, we are confident in what the Buddha taught. Even though we say that I go to the Buddha for refuge, it doesn't mean that we go to the Buddha's physical body. We go to the Buddha's understanding. When we say that Dhamman Saranam Gacchami, I go to the Dhamma for refuge, we are confident in Buddha's understanding. And also when we say that Sangham Saranam Gacchami, I go to the Sangha for refuge, it means we are confident in what the monks practice. We are confident in their practice. We respect their practice, not just their robes. If we have this confidence, our highest priority is that listening to Dhamma and practicing Dhamma. For that, I wish you all the best. Buddha says how we develop our skillfulness in the highest level. As I mentioned before, if we are able to overcome negative thoughts from our mind that disturb our peace of mind, greed, anger and delusion. These are the enemies, these are the evils that disturb our peace of mind. Buddha says, lobha, attachment. Lobha is Alpa Savajya and Danda Viraga. Craving is difficult to overcome, but danger is less. Less danger and difficult to overcome. Lobha. How about those of anger? Anger is easy to overcome, but results are more danger. How about ignorance or delusion? Moha. Danda Viraga Mahasavajya. Ignorance is difficult to overcome and results are more dangerous. In this situation, Buddha has explained the clear path: generosity, loving kindness meditation, and insight meditation. Finally, Buddha says, as a wise person, the highest qualities that we can perform in our life is that the duration of practicing concentration and insight meditation. Our success depends on our happiness. Our happiness completely depends on the duration of practicing concentration and insight meditation. You can make sure whether you are successful. And also, as a gifted person, you have a direct path. When Buddha met some gifted persons, Buddha explains the direct path. Vipassana Molika Samatha. Vipassana Purvangama Samatha. You know the gifted person in this dispensation, Buddha Sasana? Bahya Darucherya. Buddha explained his message in short when Bahya meet. Ditte dittamattam bhavisate, sute sutamattam bhavisate. When you see something, just seen. And he was a gifted person. He directly practiced Vipassana Bhavana. I is impermanent, forms are impermanent, I consciousness is impermanent. What is the impermanence? Impermanence means at the moment that experience arises and immediately ceases. If we understand this reality, suddenly we look at inside. Other people, the ordinary people, always look at outside. They are dependent on suffering. But we, Buddha's followers, we always look at inside. Ordinary people always look at outside, what happens to others. But we always look at inside, what happens to my mind at the moment. Whether my mind is angry or not angry, whether my mind is lustful or not lustful, whether my mind is ignorant or not ignorant. This is the way how we overcome suffering. Our real success depends on getting rid of greed, anger, and delusion. Finally, we have to practice only one thing, practicing mindfulness. For that, I wish you all the best. We discussed the Buddha's message. It is a gradual path. By practicing generosity, virtue, and loving kindness meditation, finally, we have to practice mindfulness for our inner peace. Buddha says, practicing mindfulness is only way for the getting rid of suffering. Practicing mindfulness is only way for the purification of beings, Sattana Visuddhiya. Practicing mindfulness is the only way for the gaining knowledge, Jnaya Sadigamaya. Practicing mindfulness is the only way for the attaining enlightenment, Nibbana Satchikaranattaya. For that, day by day, we should go forward. We have received a very valuable life. We should give the highest value to our life. For that, we should practice mindfulness and we should add mindfulness to our breathing in and out. Breathing in and out happens from our birth to death. And this is the highest meditation technique that Buddha has explained. Our meditation technique is given by our mom. If you like to help and pay your gratitude to your mom, what we should do? We should practice breathing meditation. When we breathe, at first time when we were born in this world, our mother was so happy. And also, when we breathe in and out mindfully, our mother is so happy whether she lives or not. Why is that? Whenever we breathe in and out mindfully, we are not suffering. We have overcome suffering because of mindfulness. This is the way how we pay our gratitude to our mom. Breathing meditation is highly appreciated in Buddhism. All the Buddhas who appeared in the world attained enlightenment by practicing breathing meditation. For that, we should have clear understanding about the mindfulness and practicing breathing meditation. Okay, at this moment, you are doing a very special meritorious act, offering cotton robe to the Mahasangha, the community of the Mahasangha, Buddha's disciples. By acquiring a lot of meritorious activities and positive thought, may you be well, happy and peaceful. May your departed relatives also rejoice with this merit. And finally, may they also attain the final bliss of liberation. With that intention, let's say, Sadhu, Sadhu, Sadhu. By the power of this spiritual energy, may you be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to you. May no problems come to you. May no difficulties come to you. May your all righteous wishes and your educational goals meet with success. Finally, may all of us attain the final bliss of liberation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Dukkhappatā ca nindukkhā, bhayampantā ca ninbhayā, sokampantā ca nissokā, hontu sabbe pipānino. May all beings be well, happy and peaceful. May the Triple Gem bless you.